I'm Dylan Ratigan. I've interviewed nearly every CEO and most world leaders during the past 25 years. And now I'm bootstrapping. I'm turning my attention to the new CEOs and the irrepressible entrepreneurs leading the next generation of innovation in the world. Welcome back to Tasty Live. Time for another episode of Bootstrapping. I am Dylan Ratigan. My guests today, Kevin Drolet and Serhey Kaminsky, the company called Sorbet Force. They are on the Republic platform, and their claim to fame is they are the inventor of the world's first non-metal, and they say sustainable, cost-effective battery. A substantial innovation. You both have a substantial background. Serhey, I will start with you. The value of a non-metal or sustainable battery is self-evident. It speaks for itself. So it leads me more to questions around how scalable this is, where you are in the process of developing it. Where are you in the process of basically transitioning away from the toxic, non-recyclable battery infrastructure into something that you're talking about here at Sorbet Force?
Okay, thank you, Dylan. Yeah, we have our own R&D center, and we have a strong scientific team. We already completed our R&D process, and now we are on the way of scaling of our product. And I'm absolutely sure that the main problem of green energy transition is the battery. And we know that the more renewable energy we are trying to deploy, the more unstable electrical grid we have. That's why we need to deploy more and more batteries. Of course, we have batteries, but existing batteries, it's like nightmare for our planet. We have a lot of supply chain issues. We have a lot of problems with disposal of these batteries. We have a lot of problems with fire and explosive issues. So it looks like we solved all of these problems. We have, I believe, we have a best solution in terms of battery energy storage. So now we are raising money for our further deployment of our production, and yeah.
Understood. Thank you, Serhey. Kevin, I take it as a given that the current battery infrastructure is toxic, non-functional, disastrous. I accept all of that. My curiosity in speaking to you is to understand what exactly it is that you have, not so much an understanding of why what exists now is a problem. I accept that what exists now is a problem. What I don't understand is what you're doing.
Right. So for the past 7 years, Serhey pulled together a team of scientists and engineers, originally in Ukraine, people that have had a lot of experience with lithium-ion technology, and developed a battery that's made from carbon, water, and salt. So they've developed a porous carbon material. Serhey is materials expert. And this battery, that is the difference. It's a battery that doesn't have a supply chain. It can be produced in a local area. It can be produced from raw materials, recycled plastics, agricultural waste, salt from desalination plants in a local market. So that mitigates a lot of issues that exist, including, like, quite frankly, geopolitical issues of who's producing what where, as the need for storage will only amplify as we electrify the world. So
and is this battery currently a prototype, or is it in production? What would be required to bring it into production at scale, and where are you in that process?
We already have small equipment. It's a low volume production, and we are preparing for starting this low volume production. It's more like a pilot production, and we already started this production.
And what would be required in terms of the infrastructure transition to support scaling the deployment of this type of battery technology? Let's assume that all the science is intact, and that I'm assuming the barrier to implementation at scale would have more to do with the supply chain itself, and the ability to scale its production. What are the challenges on that side?
Well, I would say actually this is where, I mean, this is the differentiator, is our ability to scale is it's much faster. It just does not, we just don't have the same obstacles. You're speaking to me, I'm in San Diego right now, right? We have a massive desalination plant, and, right next to, Carlsbad, right, very close to me. There's, agricultural waste, all over the place that can be turned into, the products that make up this battery. So you think about it, you can actually create a factory, and we're going to be creating pilot projects in Arizona, working with data centers and some other places. But you can create the battery that eliminates a lot of what today's technology needs in order to scale. The vast majority of it, the materials.
So then what's the barrier to scaling, or is there no barrier to scaling?
Actually, we have no barriers. Yes, it's the only one barrier is money. So we need money to move faster. That's why we are raising money to move faster and to accelerate our.
So if Elon Musk called you today and said, "I want to transition all Teslas to this battery," there's no barrier to that.
Absolutely. Absolutely, we have no. We are working to remove all barriers. So that's our core of our.
And so you're raising money at this point, basically, to create enough credibility and proof of concept that you could be a party to that type of a meeting. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. This is the main barrier: is to start this. Start production, start having real batteries in real life.
And do you have data about the function of the battery and the stability of the function of the battery, Sergey, over time?
Of course, we have tons of testing. We have already confirmed all of technical parameters, and now we need to produce big batteries. It's more than 100 kilowatt hour, and to deploy this battery with our partners. For example, it can be data center, and we will invite all people. It can be potential customers, experts, potential investors, or partners to visit this place, to see how it works, to understand how it works, to touch this battery, to feel these advantages, and to feel this smell and spirit of future.
And is there any difference in the function of, like, in other words, if I was to swap the battery in a car from a lithium battery or a metal battery to your battery, is there a difference in the interface, the size, the literal function and placement of the battery relative to the current battery?
Actually, we have more than 20 types of batteries in our portfolio, but now we are focused on this sorption battery that we are entering the market with this type of battery, and we are focused on big industrial applications. That's why our battery bigger than lithium-ion batteries, but smaller than lead-acid batteries. We are in between with these batteries. Of course, we can replace our batteries with lithium-ion batteries in most of applications, even in electric vehicles. But our range, we can go less than lithium-ion batteries.
Mm-hmm.
But we are much more cost-effective. For example, the cost of our battery price of our battery can be 2 times less than lithium-ion batteries, even more.
And what about the lifespan?
We already confirmed 5,000 cycles, and it's real cycles, physical charge and discharge cycles, not theoretical. And our aim is to have 10,000 cycles and more. It means 20 years of lifespan.
And what about range? How long does a charge? Is it comparable in the duration of the charge in terms of the discharge? Is the discharge rate at a similar rate to the existing battery technology?
We are much better, much faster, extremely faster. We have 3 processes inside of our batteries. It's it's a supercapacitor technology, electric double electrical layers. Next, it's a electrosorption and Faradaic processes. We combined in one battery all necessary technologies for intraday operation, and we covering most of existing problems for intraday operation. Peak shaving, frequency support. We have an ultra fast response, and it's absolutely a great fit for smart grids, for electrical grids, for any applications. And that's why, for example, our battery can be charged during 4 minutes or even less. It depends of size of your wires. So we can be extremely fast. And also, we have no any problems with overcharging and over discharging. Our battery can be discharged to 0 volts without any problems. So we have no any problems that existing batteries have.
Kevin, what is the use of funds of the current raise?
So with the current raise, we're going to be investing into pilot projects. So we have some partnerships we're working on for pilot projects in the US and also potentially in Europe and potentially in Australia. But as Serhiy mentioned earlier, what's really important is for people to be able to see the technology, because we are, new battery technology in the sense of, not being what exists. There is skepticism. Does this work? Does this work as long? And so people want to see that proof of concept. While we already have, we're out of R&D, we have a smaller version of the battery. That's great. But we do want people to see a larger version on the 100 kilowatt level. And so this is great. I mean, for, you think about data centers, there's just a massive need. Data gets lost. There's a lot of power outages. So this is a backup. We were actually named number 1 battery backup emerging technology. So that's one. And then the other is that there's also the option for homes. I mean, a 30 kilowatt battery to support a solar system, let's say in California or other places, StoryForce has the advantage of at scale, we're much cheaper per kilowatt hour, but also we're safer. And we just don't have the same.
Meaning that there's no fire risk?
Meaning that I can't say there's 0 fire risk, because that wouldn't be probably accurate in terms of what we're dealing with. But there is a very minimal fire risk to the battery, because it's not made the same. And I'll let Serhiy speak to that on a more technical level, but that's absolutely right.
So it sounds like the primary challenge that your company faces is the market perception that some of your claims may be too good to be true. And so that it's necessary for you to demonstrate this in a very vigorous manner in order to win the credibility that you would seek in order to get engagement from large industry to adopt the technology. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
I think that's a big part of the challenge, yeah.
And so the technology, as far as you're concerned, is maybe not finished, but it is largely complete and implemented. And so the resources that you're raising now are the resources that are necessary to demonstrate the efficacy of the technology, the stability, all the characteristics that Sergey discussed, to demonstrate those in a manner that is indisputable, basically, in order to go into a more of a scaling event. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I think that's the path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sarah, so as you sit at the precipice of a potentially, revolutionary piece of technology, other than I'm sure you're concerned about, raising the money and getting the right prototypes that can win the right, so that you have the right references for the right credibility. But is there anything in the actual performance of the technology that is a point of concern or a point of research for you right now? What's your degree of confidence in the integrity of the technology right now, were you to have the references and pilot cases that you're currently implementing?
I think we are producing. We already started this producing of this battery. We will bring this battery to Phoenix, Arizona. We will deploy this battery just close to Phoenix, and we will potentially have good cooperation with the data center, as Kevin mentioned before. And but actually, I'm not sure that I understand your
question. Is there anything on the technological side you're concerned with at this point?
Technological side.
Are you confident that that you've solved this basically, and now you're just waiting?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's just a question of time to do this. All of these things we already have confirmed all of our technical parameters. So it's just a question of money and time. That's it. We already absolutely sure that we have great product.
How much money and how long, Kevin, to prove it out?
Well, our current raise, we're looking to raise $1.5 million based on our valuation on the Republic platform, which will be closing in about 20 days. We're raising that. That will allow us to create 3 pilot projects, 100 kilowatt hour batteries, and take care of some of the other costs that are associated with production, but getting those things set up. We also need funds to complete our patents. Currently, we have 1 provisional U.S. patent on the materials. Our team has 25 patents that we're holding, and we're applying for 4 other patents. So patent work is actually very important. We have a very good law firm that we work with for patents, but we put a lot of resources into that effort. And then certifications are also very important. So getting battery certified, and that's all of that costs money. So these are all the step-by-step process and some of our milestones for 2024.
And what about time? When do you think you'll be ready to take a meeting with with everybody from Volkswagen to a home builder and everybody in between, and Amazon?
I mean, I think we're having meetings like every day with folks that are interested in doing things at a massive scale. I mean, we were laughing that we had an EV charging company ask us if they could purchase $50 million worth of batteries, right? We're not quite at that point yet. So those conversations we're having right now, it will take some time to scale, and we're going to do step by step and make sure that every part of the process we go through, we don't feel the need to rush the process, but we do feel that there is a massive investment opportunity in what we're developing, and we've been told that you have the holy grail of batteries, et cetera, et cetera. So 1.5 million is the current raise, and then in order to scale and obviously build out production and production facilities, and as we go, it's we're going to need to raise a bit more to do that.
And is there, so my last question, Sarah, is there any limit? It's sort of lithium obviously is one of the famous limiting resources to the current battery production, and also comes with political components and all the rest of it. That are there any inputs in your battery that have components that are scarce, hard to come by, politically controversial, etc.?
We are trying. Actually, we also have lithium-ion battery technology in our portfolio, and we started from lithium-ion technology. But obviously now we are extremely depends on some big country on the east, and that we have more than 90% lithium-ion batteries that coming from outside of United States. That's it's quite dangerous. It's even a question of national security or something like this. So
is that a similar condition with your battery?
Similar condition.
So, I mean, so Kevin, is it right now?
No, it's not a similar condition. We don't have that condition. We don't have a supply chain issue. We don't have to have metals processed in other countries. We don't have. I mean, what we have is we have a battery that solves a problem without creating more problems. Without
are the resources necessary to make your battery widely available or in limited supply?
Widely available,
unlimited. Our resources unlimited and renewable. So
yeah.
That's why that's our core of our technology. It's a new. We have not only just a battery. Our product, not just a battery. It's a new vision and new way of relationships with our planet. Our battery can be produced anywhere locally with local raw materials, and it can be 100% made in Arizona, for example. 100%, including all raw materials, including all processing during creation of our battery.
And could it similarly be made anywhere else on Earth?
Absolutely. So it can be produced in Alaska or in Texas or anywhere.
Or Ukraine or Thailand or Brazil.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Maybe harder in the South Pole. It might be harder to produce it in the South Pole.
Because of the conditions for the workers or because of the available resources?
Yeah, maybe there's less available resources there.
Yeah, but generally the resources are widely available.
Yeah, anywhere you have agricultural waste, which is most places, right? You have salts, water.
Seawater. If you have seawater, and it's also our source of our raw materials.
And what is the meaning of the name Sorbiforce? Is my last question.
We have a electrosorption process. It's our core technology. We have our own ultra porous carbon material with surface of porous more than 3,000 square meters per gram, and these porous absorb ions of different type of electrochemical elements.
This is actually my last question. So clearly you're a brilliant electrical engineer and inventor. And so when you're done with this, can I ask you to work on, see all these, my life is surrounded by wires. If you could create wireless electricity when you're done with this, we would all be very grateful.
I started from there. I started from there.
Good.
Actually, this battery, it's just a first step to absorption energy, but it will be later.
Yeah, we need, because if once it's wireless electricity, they're going to look at us like idiots walking around with all these cords everywhere. It's time to move on. So I'm grateful for your your efforts and your contributions, and I congratulate you on your inventions, and I appreciate your time today. Thank you both. Sergey Kaminsky, Sorbaforce is the company, and Kevin Drolet out of San Diego. Gentlemen, thank you very much. I do wish you all the best with the raise. Congratulations again. I am Dylan Ratigan. This is Bootstrapping, and we are back with more Tasty Live right after this.